Okay, today we have a longer sample from our Paraguay listener, and she has read the caterpillar passage, and we are going to analyze her speech for that. So we will listen to her say the first part of it.
The caterpillar. Do you like amusement parks? Well, I sure do.
Okay, so do you like amusement parks? Well, I sure do. When she says parks, it sounds like she's saying parts with a T instead of a K. I'm not sure if she's actually saying a T, but that's what it sounds like. Well, her W is a little distorted. It's almost like when her lips come together for the W, well, it's almost like they're turning into a B sound. Well. Just make sure when you do your W, your lips are looser. And I sure do. Make that a good, strong, long U. Do, rather than duh. So we want to make it, I sure do. Let's listen to the next one.
To amuse myself, I went twice last spring.
Okay, again on the W for I went. Make sure that W is just a W sound and not any kind of W. We don't want to make a B sound in there. It just has to be went. I went twice last spring. Okay, the next part.
My most memorable moment was riding on the caterpillar.
Okay, so most. Make sure that you get that final T on the end. It is true that a lot of the time we will drop off a final T, but not always. My most memorable. And memorable, the syllable stress is on that first syllable. Memorable. Moment, same thing. Don't forget the T. Moment. My most memorable moment. And it's more of a moment. It sounds like the T is completely gone, but if you listen to the difference between just the N, you can kind of hear a difference. So without it at all, it's moment. With the T, it's moment. Okay, moment. My most memorable moment was riding on the caterpillar. So syllable stress is on that first syllable most of all. It's not really equal like caterpillar. It's caterpillar. There's definitely more stress on that first syllable. Next part.
Which is a gigantic roller coaster high above the ground.
Is. All the short little words in English that end in S, like is, was, has, his, as, they all have a Z sound instead of an S. Spelled with an S, but it's a Z. So make sure that S is voiced, there's vibration going on here. Z versus S. So which is, and then that a gigantic sounded a little bit like gigantic. And then roller coaster, I didn't hear the T. So let's not forget our T's. Roller coaster. High above the ground. I kind of heard a both, like an O and an F, a long O and an F. It needs to be a and the, above the ground. Don't forget your D on the end. We want to make sure we have ground, not ground. Next part.
When I saw how high the caterpillar rose into the bright blue sky, I knew it was for me.
So again, caterpillar, and then rose, also a Z sound, rose. Bright, don't forget your sort of a T. We've got to have something there. Your tongue has to come up and touch. You can't just say bright, blue sky. It has to touch up behind your teeth, bright blue sky. I knew it, got to get that T in there. I knew it was, or at least so it's not a really loud T like it. It's more like it. Your tongue comes up there. I knew it was, again, a Z for me. Next part.
After waiting in line for 30 minutes, I made it to the front.
Okay, so waiting. Again, make sure that W sound is loose and there's not any trace of a B in there. We don't want waiting. We want waiting. And then front. Front is like a short U sound. Front. It's not O, not front. Definitely it's front.
Where the men measured my height to see if I was tall enough.
Okay, and measured. She has it close with sh, measured, but it's a voiced sh. Zh, measured. That's one of the few words in English where there's a voiced zh kind of sound. So the sh is voiced, so it becomes zh. Measured. And then my height. We don't want hate. Hate's a different word, so we want height. It's like a long I sound, height. And then again, at the end of was, it should be a Z sound instead of S. We don't want was, we want was. Okay, next part.
I gave the men my coins, asked for change, and jumped on the cart.
All right, asked. We've got to get that final sound on that one because that indicates the past tense. We don't want to make everybody think we're in the present tense, like I ask for change. We want the past tense. I asked for change. And same thing with jumped. That final T sound there has to be there. It's spelled with an ED, but a lot of the time we will say it with a T sound. It'll either be a T or a D depending on whether that last consonant was voiced or unvoiced. So asked and jumped.
Tick, 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 the caterpillar climbed slowly up the trots.
Right, again with caterpillar. And then tracks. It sounded a little bit like trots, like a horse trots, if it were spelled TROTS, but it needs to be tracks. And that your mouth goes wide to make that short A sound, tracks with a K on the end.